Good morning. Hi, greetings to all our guests who are joining us this morning for the Say My Name campaign information session as an event for the It Starts Anti-Racism campaign week at Georgian College. Today, I'm joined by the founders and champions of the Say My Name campaign, Ishaan Sachdeva and Sheona Morrison. My name's Catherine Vellinga from the International Department, and I'll be hosting the session today. A warm welcome to everyone and thanks for being here. Next slide, please. We'll start with the Georgian College Land Acknowledgement to pay respect to the Indigenous people, past and present, who live on this territory. Georgian College acknowledges that all campuses are situated on the traditional land of the Anishinaabe people. The Anishinaabe include the Odawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. Georgian College is dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture and committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect with all First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people. Next, please. All right, just a few housekeeping rules before we start. As with most sessions, everyone is muted upon entry. Please send your questions to the Q&A, and we will have time to answer these at the end of the session. We also want to mention that we strive to create a safe space to share experiences, spark conversations, and embrace diversity, and to honor the culture and speakers' knowledges and experiences. So please ask questions and make all comments with respect for the spirit of the event. Thank you. Let's move to the next slide. Let's move into our topic for the day. We are on the penultimate day of Georgian College's Champion Week for the Simcoe County It Starts Anti-Racism campaign. It Starts is a public awareness campaign designed to take a proactive step towards addressing racism and discrimination in Simcoe County. It works to promote a unified community and encourages collective action against racism and discrimination. So really, it's all about eliminating discrimination and creating a more inclusive society for everyone. Original First Nation people who've been here for thousands of years before the settlers, as well as recent newcomers to our community who come to Simcoe County from all over the world to live and work and often become Canadian citizens. At Georgian College, we are one of the drivers of diversity in our community as we welcome thousands of international students into our community, enriching us with their diverse skills, talents, and connections and perspectives. Our goal is to create a community that is welcoming, in which we all can thrive together and enjoy the benefits of our diversity. The Say My Name campaign is an institution-wide initiative that helps us work to empower our community members and to say and have their names said, read, and pronounced correctly, thus taking a step in creating that inclusivity that we're all working towards. Today, we're here to learn all about it with the founder and champion of the campaign. I'm going to introduce our guests in a minute, but first let's learn a little bit about what the campaign looks like and what it's about and how you can join the movement by watching this video that was put together on the Say My Name campaign. And if we can move to that video, please.
Hello everyone, my name is Ishaan Sachdeva and I am one of the co-founders and executive member of Enactus Georgian, which is a student-led entrepreneurial club on the Georgian campus. And I'm also currently leading as the Vice President Changemaking at Georgian College Student Association. Today, I'm here to talk to you regarding a positive initiative started by Enactus Georgian in 2019, and we believe that it's the perfect time to launch it virtually. The project is actually called Say My Name, and it's designed to tackle social isolation within our community. It strives to make all the environments inclusive to study and work so that everybody can feel a sense of belonging. For all those of you who often find your name getting mispronounced, like me, Say My Name provides ways you can help people to pronounce your name without making you feel that you have to stay silent or use a nickname. So let me start with myself. So my name is Ishaan Sachdeva. Some people call it Ishaan, Ishaan, but no. Here's the pronunciation. I hope this is gonna help you. Now we're going to hear from a couple of more people whose names often get mispronounced.
Hi everyone, my name is Shauna Morrison. I'm an Indigenous student leader based in Barrie, and I am Shona Cousins, marketing specialist for international education. People are often get very good mixed up, and when I put it together, it gets really confusing. So this is what we're going to talk about. People are often mispronouncing. We'll have to see how do you pronounce it? This is Shauna. I'm an Australian traveling nurse. What part of the world? My name is Shauna. Shaw or Shauna. We have Scottish origins. My dad was born in Scotland, and he chose my name. Thanks, Dad. My name is pronounced Shona, Shona, or Shona. People often think that my name is just a different form of Shauna, but the names actually have a completely different history. My name has Gaelic origins. We hope we've shed a little light on how to use phonetics to teach others to say your name properly.
Ani, Ojo, Vidasagin Nidikaka, Ayashin Name Donjaba, Moosdodam. My name is Bidasagay Elliott. I hail from the land of the handsome, otherwise known as Cape Croker First Nation. And I am also of Moose Clan. This is how we as Anishinaabe people identify ourselves. We say who we are, where we come from, and our clan. This is how we self-identify. My name is Bidasagay, and it means the light of dawn.
Hello everyone, my name is Lai Lingru, and I'm from Taiwan. My friend also call me Winnie. As you know, it might be a little bit difficult for people to pronounce my original name, but I love my name, so let me tell you how to pronounce it. It is pronounced as Yunru. Chat is here. Thank you. Bye.
Now we would like to share some more suggestions of how you can make Georgian community more inclusive.
Our first suggestion is for you to add this phonetic spelling of your name when you're attending classes or meetings on virtual platforms like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or WebEx. Another idea is to write your name with the phonetic spelling on a piece of paper, and you can place it on your desk in-person classes or on virtual meetings or classes. You can hold it up to the screen. If you have access to plain labels or stickers, then you can give yourself a name tag so when you're in virtual meetings or classes, people can see how to spell your name properly.
If you use any of these ideas, you will become part of the initiative by helping create more inclusive community, one name at a time.
Right, okay. Sorry that we couldn't hear this as well as we would have liked to have. You have an idea now what it looks like, and I've actually put a link in the chat box that will take you to the Georgian College site that has the article. It gives you a lot of information about Say My Name campaign, gives you tips, and it also has the video embedded. It's really worth watching because it's a great video that really covers a lot of information. So now that we have a little bit of context that, you know, what the campaign looks like, well, when we were all in physical spaces, but I'd like to welcome now our guest speakers, Sheona Morrison, who is manager of student leadership and transition programs and is a champion of this campaign, and Ishaan Sachdeva, VP of Changemaking at Georgian College Student Association, who is also co-founder of the student-led Enactus Club that you saw on the video as well, and one of the founders of the campaign in 2019. Sheona and Ishaan are going to tell us more about this initiative. Welcome to you both, and thank you very much for being here with us today. I'd like to start with Ishaan and just ask if you could give a little introduction to who you are and what your role is at the college. If you don't mind starting out, please, Ishaan.
Perfect. Thank you, Catherine. So my name is Ishaan Sachdeva, and I am currently in my final year of Business Administration Advanced Diploma. I am also the Vice President Changemaking in Georgian College Student Association and incoming president for the GCSA Barrie as well. The Say My Name project started as part of the Enactus Georgian Club. I'm one of the co-founders of Enactus Georgian Club at the Barrie campus. It's a student-led entrepreneurial club. And in 2019, we realized that a lot of students, including myself, we change our names either because people cannot pronounce it, or we are facing problems in telling people that how to pronounce our names. So how this project actually started is we were working on a project called Georgian 101, which is a handbook designed for international students so that they can feel welcome in these new communities when they come to Canada. And we had a persona, which is a virtual person who we designed as part of our human-centered design. So we named her Fatima. And within our own group, we were having a conversation like, do we call her Fatima? Do we call her Fatima? And we were not sure that, how we want to pronounce the persona's name. So that's where we kind of generated with this new initiative, our project, Say My Name, that people have special meaning to their name, and, pronouncing someone's name pronouncing someone's name correctly can mean a lot to them. So we wanted to embrace, each and everyone's identity that they have, like including myself. A lot of people would pronounce my name wrong, and I didn't realize that unless we as a group, as Enactus Georgian, had this conversation that how important it is to pronounce somebody's name right. And the feeling of validation that somebody takes time to pronounce your name correctly is just very fulfilling. So yeah, this is how our project started, and our goal is that we want to decrease the discrimination and social isolation within our communities. We want to help people to embrace who they are with their actual names rather than changing their names or using a nickname. We also respect that if people want to use their preferred names, they should use that, and we respect that using a preferred name is important. Yeah, back to you, Catherine.
Thank you so much, Ishaan. Yeah, I've noticed a lot of, there are students who do change their name to a more English sounding name when they arrive in Canada. So this is a really important part of creating a welcoming community. And now I'd like to hand it over to Sheona to please introduce herself, her role, and her involvement in the Say My Name campaign, please.
Awesome. So thank you, Catherine. And Ishaan, as usual, has stolen my thunder. He so articulates this program well, and the connection that both of us, I think, have to this program that perhaps we didn't realize we had until we've moved through some of these sessions and we've started sharing a little bit more our personal experiences and how this program and this initiative really impacts us personally. So my role at the college is supporting first year experience, so orientation, pre-orientation activities, some of the first interactions that students have with the college after they've applied and been accepted is with our area. So for our area, it's really important to ensure that we're encouraging and empowering students to show up to our Georgian family with their authentic self, and that includes their name and feeling supported. And although at first, at first hearing a name, it might sound complex, it might be difficult to articulate, it might not come off the tongue as easily as some of kind of your native language or more familiar names might be, it's so incredibly important to have your name spoken properly, have your name acknowledged, have it be heard, and have people respect and honor how your name should be pronounced. So I think the role that really I have played in this is amplifying it, supporting it, wanting to include it as part of our first year experience program. So we've challenged students, faculty, staff. It began officially in the winter semester to consider phonetically adding your name to as it's shown on the video, some of the platforms that we're using, so WebEx, Teams, Zoom, so that in a virtual environment, it's very difficult to get away with not saying someone's name, because if you're having a meeting with people and you're wanting to engage with them, you're going to have to call them by name to get them to participate. It's not like you're sitting at a table as you usually would in a classroom, and you can use body language to indicate that you want to connect or you'd like somebody to participate. So more often than not, I was having my name mispronounced. So as a result of that personal experience, I wanted to help to amplify this initiative that Enactus had shared and executed so beautifully on campus when we were live and in person, and got to do those things and figure out how can we transition that to a virtual environment and really honor what unique experiences people are having now in a virtual environment and what that has meant and how we've kind of morphed this Say My Name initiative to support those unique and new experiences. Me having the experience of more frequently than not having my name mispronounced. So I would say that's why I personally gravitated to support this initiative, as well as GCSA. From a student experience perspective, it's so incredibly important to make sure that we are including everyone. We're encouraging them to show up with their authentic self, and therefore they feel a deep sense of connection and a sense of community when they can show up with their authentic self. So I think that's my long intro, but Ishaan stole all my points, so that's where I'll stop it there.
That's just great. Thank you so much, Sheona. And as somebody who has your name mispronounced frequently, I'm sure that you really feel the difference when people make the effort not to make that mistake. What I'd like to ask next is ask Ishaan. Now, we saw in the video how people were doing the buttons for the campaign. How can this be transferred into our new virtual learning environment? Can you tell us a little bit about that, please, Ishaan?
Absolutely, Catherine, absolutely. So our goal now is that we want all of our students, staff, and faculty members to use a virtual Say My Name background. So just to go back in 2019, the way we started when we were on campus was we used to make physical buttons which people can wear on their jackets or shirts or their bags, and they would have their first name and their first name, how their first name is pronounced phonetically. So that's how we would make that as an inclusive environment, and we would go out into classes, make buttons in the classrooms in front of International Center, and kind of have multiple spots where students can get their name buttons. But since after the COVID we cannot meet in person and we cannot hand out stuff, so we thought how we can make this in a virtual environment, and we came across the idea that to include our virtual backgrounds in our meetings, because all of us are in the WebEx, Zoom, our Teams meeting anyhow all day. So why not to use that as a way to be more inclusive? So here's my name, Ishaan, and here's my phonetics, how it's pronounced. So this kind of helps a lot of people I meet with, even if it's new or old people. Like I had people come up to me after an year and saying me, hey, I'm sorry that I did not know how to pronounce your name correctly. And the best part is that they take time to correct themselves, and that's what we want as part of the Say My Name campaign. It's okay to pronounce the name wrong, but we want you to take the time again to kind of learn how the person name is pronounced correctly and make them feel involved as part of the community. So yeah, that's how the project started. If you want to have your own your background for the WebEx, Zoom, or Teams, reach out to your respective GCSA and we can help you to get your virtual background. You're muted, Catherine.
Thanks. Sorry about that. Yep. Anyway, what I was saying is thanks a lot, Ishaan. We've all got our Say My Name backgrounds with our meeting here today, and I've put in the chat box also another link. The first link was for the video and the article. This link is actually for requesting your own Say My Name background that you can see on this presentation. So if you just fill in the form and send that off, you'll get a notification of when it's ready and be able to use it for all of your virtual meetings, which will be really helpful for your teachers and for your classmates in being able to pronounce your name properly. Thank you, Ishaan. Now, I just wondered if we're coming to the end of our presentation where we're going through this quite, the time is running quickly. So I just ask if Sheona can tell us how staff and faculty can get involved in the campaign, any tips for teachers on how to participate, and you know what the benefits would be for them in participating in the campaign, please.
Awesome. So yeah, as I mentioned, and again, Mr. Sachdeva has stolen many of what I was going to share, but I think in particular when we think about staff and faculty and the positions that they hold, and whether it be positional power or influence, I think it's really important when we're building a sense of community in first classes or first experiences or first times on campus, that we take the time to have people introduce themselves. And or if that's not able to be done, you are facilitating introductions, but you are taking note of how students and their peers are introducing themselves. And if you, as Ishaan has said, if you mispronounce somebody's name, acknowledge it. Say, I'm really sorry. Can you say that again? I really want to take the time to understand how I can make sure that I don't mispronounce your name again. Stop and acknowledge that you have mispronounced their name, because what I want to share with everyone, which I think maybe you don't recognize when you're in this situation, but myself, and Ishaan's mentioned it as well, I have people in my life that have, for the duration of our relationship, mispronounced my name, continue to mispronounce my name. But how you internalize it and the decision you make is, I think it's going to offend them, and I don't want to offend them and make them feel bad by me telling them, hey, my name's not Sheona, it's Sheona. You've been calling me Sheona ever since the beginning of time. But what we need to flip is that it should not be about the other person, because for me, having my name continuously mispronounced weighs on you. And it starts to, it unconsciously is always sitting there. Like, why aren't they pronouncing my name properly? And it may not really influence your relationship with that person, but in the back of your mind, you're always like, I just wish they called me by the right name. And you don't recognize how much that gets perpetuated as well. So if we're talking about a faculty or a staff person, if they're continually mispronouncing a student's name, at a certain point, other people are going to think that that's the way that you pronounce that person's name. And it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And in my case, I honestly think that is what's happened with my name, is that someone hears it in a meeting and then they go to say it the right way and they're like, oh, someone said it another way. I think it's that other way. And then it just goes and it gets worse and worse and worse. So just stop making it about you. And just learn and commit to saying very difficult names and being passionate and excited about trying to learn them. It might take you 10 times in conversation with that person to say, am I saying it right? Do I have it right? And you're going to slip up a ton of times, but just own that and dedicate time to learning, because you don't understand how impactful and meaningful that is, and the impact that you don't see beyond that. So in those little instances, you don't recognize how powerful taking the time, stopping, acknowledging, maybe even asking them where they're from. Like, you know, where is your name from? I've never heard that name before. Getting them to tell a little bit more about, you know, their authentic self, and sharing why their name might be more challenging, because it may come from a region, but they're not, maybe they're Canadian and they just have a name from another culture that is difficult. So not assuming things with people's names either is really, really important. And as well, if you are noting how to pronounce somebody's name, write it down. Write it down on their attendance sheet. Write it down somewhere where you can reflect back and ensure that you're going to get it right next time. And if someone has a preferred name, as Ishaan said, note that. Like if they prefer, if Winnie says that you can call her Winnie, but ask, what would you like to be? What would you like me to call you? Because that's a really important question. And we have one team member on our team right now with GCSA, and her name is Simranjot. And when she first introduced herself to me, and I said her name back again, I said, am I pronouncing that right? She's like, yeah, that's okay. I'm like, no, am I saying it right? And so often people who routinely have their name mispronounced, just because they don't want confrontation, they don't want the other person to feel bad, they accept the mispronunciation, and that's not okay. So when someone says that to you, challenge yourself to say, nope, I'm getting this right, we're figuring this out, and I'm gonna pronounce this going forward. So it's just so super important, because I guarantee you at some point in time, that person is not going to feel comfortable to bring up the fact that you've been mispronouncing their name. So if you notice after quite some time that you've been mispronouncing somebody's name, it's pretty impactful to send them a message and say, hey, I am really sorry. I just realized how I have been mispronouncing your name for so long, and I just want to say I'm really sorry, and I'm sorry for how that may have impacted you, and I'm really making a point to not do that again. So I think that would be my message, is just recognize the incredible influence you have in very small moments to make a really significant impact on how somebody feels connected and a part and acknowledged and heard and valued in a class, in a group, whatever it may be. Always start by allowing them the space to introduce themselves and clarifying and making sure that you're calling them by the right name.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much, Sheona. You are so right. Sorry about mispronunciation. And it occurred to me as I was listening to, you expressed so well how important, what importance there is in identifying. Our names are so much part of our identity, and sometimes even rather than mispronouncing a name, I know as a person who has taught students with names that are difficult for me to pronounce, I might avoid altogether having to even say that person's name. So this campaign will really, really help, not just with the mispronunciation, but to be able to really get into learning names so that you don't shy away from, oh, I don't want to make a mistake on that. So it's just an awesome campaign that has a great impact on the inclusivity that we're all committed to at Georgian College. Thank you, both of you, for being here to tell us about this. Thank you for initiating this campaign. Thank you for promoting and supporting this campaign. As I said, there's information in the chat box on links on how you can access the video as well as the forums to get your own background and to encourage your students also to do the same. Any last words from anyone? We're just at the very end.
Just some last comments, Catherine. Sheona just put it very amazingly, her personal experiences, but just wanted to highlight this, the importance of importance of Say My Name event with the It Starts campaign, because a lot of international students like myself, like especially Asian students or Indigenous students, they kind of change their name based upon that people, when they got in the community, they might experience racism or harassment because of their names. So another important thing that we want to bring out as part of the It Starts campaign is that we want to promote anti-racism and anti-harassment at the same time, so that people can have their own names and they don't have to change their names to a Western name, just so they feel that they will be more included when they have a Western name. We want to break that barrier so that students can have their authentic selves and their authentic names and howsoever they feel comfortable to be represented.
Absolutely awesome point and very connected. Everything's interconnected, and it certainly ties into that fear of racism that goes along with having a name that people can't pronounce easily. So thanks for that addition, Ishaan, and that connection to all of the things that we're doing this week. With that, I'm going to close the session with big thanks to both Shauna and Ishaan, and to our technical side help, Sean and Josiah. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.